What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. It's on the left side here. We have Brandon Despia going up against Malice on the right side here. A old favorite deck going up against one of the new metas. Malice is going to be one of the most represented cards in the next set, especially with the new common that's going to be boosting it in the upcoming set here as well. If you're not playing against Malice, you're most likely playing against Rizul or a Feeds with variant here. We're going to be seeing the Malice deck end up winning the die roll, being able to go first, and we are going to be seeing a set 1 with a trap card, proceeding with a normal summon of a Domo. So they always set these trap cards here, or a bluff, depending on what's going to be. Kind of let us play around imperm and stuff like that. Domos is also going to be one of the best one-card cards by banishing one of the other Malice monsters, either being the White Rabbit or the or a copy of the Chessy Cat here, which we are going to be seeing them do. They're going to pay 300 for the Chessy Cat. Then we're going to activate the effect banishing the Rabbit to draw essentially 2 more cards. So we can actually activate the effect of the Rabbit to summon itself as well. And now we have access to all 3 copies of the Malice monsters here. We're going to see the Malice White Rabbit being activated on the field, letting us set one of the traps from the deck. And that's going to be the TB11 there. Which is going to be set. And so now we have 2 potential traps set. We at least know one of them. So imperm, stuff like that is going to be a little bit hard to hit. And essentially, at this point, we're not going to be imperming anything. We're going to then go up into the Link Decoder, which is going to be able to bring itself back out here. And then we're going to be linking all 3 up into a copy of potentially White Binder. They're thinking on which one to summon. I believe White Binder is probably the correct one to play here. So we're going to go for the White Binder there. And then we're going to be seeing the Link Decoder be able to summon itself back out. And potentially banishing the Domos as well, or setting from the deck, I should say here. I suppose that we can just set. So now we have 2 traps, and I did set the TV or the GW6, I think it is. So we have 2 of the traps set. This one's going to allow us to bring back out. But yeah, we're going to see then the TB11 going to be banishing the White Binder, allowing us to add one to the hand, essentially being follow-up, and the White Binder will be able to summon itself back out. I guess if we can summon one out here as well. Or we summon, not add, I should say. I always get them mistaken. So which one adds? Okay. And then we're going to be seeing the White Binder summon itself out, then add a card to the hand. And then we're going to activate the White Binder effect to banish one of the traps, as well as the Domos. Putting the trap in the graveyard so that putting the trap in the banish zone so we do get that effect. When all 3 traps are banished off of the underground, we're going to be able to have a big stat boost here. And we're going to see the Domos paying 300 to summon itself out. And we've used all 3 of the main deck monsters banished to return, which is going to be pretty nice. We're going to be seeing a link 3 up into a copy of the Cryptor. And when this card gets banished, we are going to be able to banish the copy of the Dotscaper summon itself back here. We're going to be linking away into a Firewall instead, setting additional card here, 2 additional cards, and then passing turn on this. So that's going to be pretty interesting of an end board in itself. We do have a Reborn in the GWC, which can reborn out the White Binder here. We're going to be seeing a Fusion Deployment going to be activated on the branded side, revealing a Sanctifier to summon out the copy of Albaz. Albaz can potentially activate its effects, discarding for cost another copy of Fusion Deployment. Unfortunately, that card is only a once per turn. It would be pretty crazy if it was not, but we're going to be seeing them discard there. And they are kind of forced to stop this, or else going to lose the access to Firewall Dragons here. So they do imperm the Albaz, which is a pretty good imperm if I do say so myself. Not wanting to be able to summon up the Mirror Jade. Now, Mirror Jade actually isn't that threatening against this deck, because, banishing one of their Malice monsters, normally their extra deck cards, is not going to do them very good here. So we do have the Cartesia to extend in the branded side by special summoning it out, because we do still control the Albaz in our field, or in the graveyard here, doesn't necessarily matter. We do activate a Foolish Burial I should say here, dumping from the deck, and they do chain a copy of Cartesia to summon with a copy of Albion here. And so we're going to dump a copy of Mercurier, and now Albion is going to be able to activate the effects, allowing us to banish potentially that Mercurier in the graveyard, along with the Albaz to go up into the Lubellion. We do chain a Magnemut here on the Albaz, but it's not going to make that much of a difference because we can still banish the summon out the copy of Grangiganol, and then Grangiganol is going to activate the effect as well as the Mercurier here, and Magnemut as well, searching for another dragon during the end phase, but I'm going to be resolving here. So it's not going to be that bad for the Albaz player here. Obviously, they do lose access to a Lubellion access if that's what they want to, but at the same time, you actually don't know if they want to go for that or the Grangiganol after all anyways here. So we do see an Albion being added to the hand. off of the Courier, and we do dump a Titanic Lad, which can dump a Quem, or summon out the Quem here during the end phase, I should say. And so we are going to be seeing now Albion activate its effect, sending a copy of Sword to the graveyard here. So we're going to be attempting to add back one of those cards. And we do chain the Sword. So we add back a Mercurier. And then we draw one off of the Albion. I never actually thought that you could just banish, because that's sent for cost. So that is pretty slick here. And then we go for a branded opening. So it's going to be the card that we obviously drew off of that Albion. And we discard a copy of Gamma. So searching now for, or summon out the Aluber here. Aluber is going to activate the effect. And we actually have the Mercurier in the hand as a monster gate as well. So we see the Brand Infusion being searched off the Aluber there. And will this be notoriously ashed? This is a 60 card build as well, I would like to add. And they are playing, you see all their spell cards into one column there, being the column that Imperm is not activated in, because we don't want to play those Imperm cards if there's a second Imperm there. And so now we go up into the Lubellion, sending the Sorenir as well as another Albaz. We also then dump the Lubellion off of the Sorenir. We're going to see Lubellion being made, and the activate the Lubellion effect, putting back the banished Albaz as well as the Lubellion to make a copy of Mirror Jade here. And then we still have the Lubellion in the graveyard to actually tag out that Albion and put that branded loss on the field as well. So here we're going to be seeing the Lubellion being summoned, and on this we're going to be flipping up the Book of Eclipse here. We're going to chain the Mirror Jade and sending a Rinrum. And this is going to be banishing the Firewall, but flipping everything else face down here. So we are going to be then taking a second to read the Rinrum. And that's going to be pretty good. A great Book of Eclipse here from Malice, but also a kind of dangerous Book of Eclipse, making them draw numerous cards, having the Quem summon itself out during the end phase there, and having a bunch of other stuff here as well. We are going to be seeing the other trap there, the PTM 07 here. So you add one Malice monster, and then if you control a Malice monster, you can banish one card on the field. And they do chain the copy of the GW6 here, bringing out the white binder, so the MP7 will be able to banish the additional card on the field because of this. Or because the chains work, I should say. But we're going to be adding the Dormouse, which is another starter, and then we're going to be seeing white binder effects going to be able to activate its effects as well. And we can banish those two other traps in the graveyard because it's going to be on a new chain. But choosing to banish off the MP7 here, I feel like we want to banish the Granganol or the Mirror Jade. So they do banish that Mirror Jade there. Mirror Jade will be able to activate its effects. And then we do activate the white binder, being able to summon and banish here the Cryptor, the Albion, and most likely the Titanic Lad as well. Getting rid of the follow-up. But we're going to be looking here. We have the Rinrum, the Albaz in the graveyard. So we're going to be kind of stuck. We're going to get rid of those two. So leaving the leaving the Rinrum as well as the Albaz in the graveyard there, but removing the access to the Titanic Lad, summon with the Quem, as well as the Albion searching for the branded in red here. I definitely agree with this. It's going to be one of the better cards to kind of put in. And then we do activate the White Cryptor effect to put back the trap card to then banish another card on the field, putting back the copy of MT7, which is going to be a very good card for the Malice player to kind of either search or add, I should say. And so we are going to go end phase. Card T is going to be adding itself back to the hand. And they do flip up the Book of Eclipse monsters and then draw two cards here. We are going to be seeing Mirror Jade's going to resolve first by destroying those. And then we're going to be passing turn with the Book of Eclipse resolving, flipping those face up. So if you guys don't know about end phase effects, it's a very complicated thing. Obviously, Brandon's involved. It's going to be complicated. We call this main phase 3. So a lot of times you're going to be seeing a bunch of different effects kind of resolve. And if you do chain the pass priority there, you can actually miss effect timing. So wanting to give the Mirror Jade time to resolve guarantees so that it's going to resolve essentially first. Turn player priority in the end phase is kind of a wild thing. So it's going to be just a 2-draw there, but the field does get wiped after all. We still have the Domos in the hand, and as well as a copy of the Bestial Druis Room here. So we are going to be able to activate it for using one of our cards. We're actually going to banish the Albaz in the graveyard there. Make it so that the Rinrum cannot activate its effects at any point in time during the opponent's turn, or during our turn, I should say, to kind of like summon itself out. So even though we're not going to get the follow-up in the Druid Worm banishing one of our Malice monsters, we get rid of that by just making sure the Albaz cannot resolve there. So we do go for the Dormouse, normal summon, activate the effect banishing the White Rabbit will summon something else out, and then we can activate the White Rabbit effect, searching for that trap that we put back into the deck here, and we're going to be kind of off to the races now. We can banish at any time to, summon back out, or banish something there, whatever we really want to. We're going to go up into a link summon by linking, or by normal summon. It looks like, I don't know which one we normal summon there, but we're going to go up into the other one there, the other super, being the Red Ransom, searching for the field spell, and then Jerusalem sending the copy of Lubellion to the graveyard here. And the Malice field spell can actually banish any of the Malice monsters in the graveyard to kind of let us continue. So we're going to be able to kind of play off through this way, banishing the White Binder, and then White Binder will be able to bring itself back out by paying 900, and banishing the traps that were left in the graveyard as well, and the Cryptor to summon itself out. So we do pretty much have a OTK option here. Looking left in the graveyard there. We're going to get rid of that Rinrum just in case. And Lubellion, it looks like, as well. And then the Cryptor is going to summon itself out here. And we are putting it into zones that are kind of interesting. All the main deck Malice monsters have effects that while they're getting pointed to. So we could potentially see some of those being summoned out. But we're going to be going for the... It was like TB11 there. Maybe it wasn't the MP7, it was a TB11 that was reset. I don't exactly know. The traps kind of look similar there. I didn't get a good look, but it could have been that one there that got set, and then we're trying to banish it. In other words, the Red Ransom would have summoned itself out off of that, and then we would have kind of continued by banishing that copy of, I think this one banishes the copy of What's-His-Face, the Dotscaper there. Yeah, so the Red Ransom is the one that banishes the Dotscaper to bring itself back up. So we didn't get those confused with the Cryptic as well as the Red Ransom, but I do want to apologize. I'm still learning the Malice deck. I think it definitely is an interesting deck. Obviously, I'm not playing it just yet. I'm still playing the Rise Fiends, with kind of getting used to that, playing Memento. I really am excited to bring Memento back to locals. I haven't played it in a bit, and I know some players aren't really happy about me playing the Rise deck at locals. But I mean, that's just, unfortunately, I'm trying to give you guys content. I don't want to play... I want to be able to play certain decks. I do enjoy the Rigel deck. I think that the deck is actually very well created. The fusion card is super fun to play as well. But I understand that people like discontent. I'm trying to play Chimera, but I'm waiting for the new support to drop, because Chimera can get a little bit better with the St. Azamina card, and the Azamina craft just gets a lot better in the next set anyways. So obviously staying to play off into then, which is, it gets obviously better. Why play a deck that's not as good when you know it's going to get better in the next set? Learning the better combos is going to be a lot more fun as well. But we're going to be diving into Game 2 here with Brandon siding in a whole bunch of different cards. This is a 60-card build of it. We're going to be able to choose to go first or second. Will we get hit with D-Shifter is the question here. Brandon does not like getting hit with D-Shifter. It can survive through D-Shifter, but it's obviously not going to be a good card to get hit with. So we are going to be diving on in, and we're going to be seeing a shuffle with some beautiful OCG sleeves. Justin is from Japan, or not from Japan, I believe he's from Korea, but huge shout to him for being at our locals here. He is showing up and playing. We always love it. Playing Brandon completely differently. I love seeing the way that it's played, just the way that we're playing. Playing the 2 Gam, which is very much OCG-like. But we do see a normal summon out of the Luber, getting hit with a copy of the Imperm, but luckily for us, we have the Grass is Greener here, which is that one, going to be sending a multiple card. We do Ash that as well. Do we have the Brandon Fusion to continue here? You're definitely forced to kind of Ash Grass, though, because you do send so much. We do have the Albion the Shadow Dragon to kind of continue here, but if we don't draw into anything good, the end of our turn could be very near. We do see an opt to send the Albaz to the graveyard, so maybe having Brandon and Red already in our hand. We do have the High Spirit sending a copy of Granganol to the graveyard here, and we do have a Cartesia in the hand, which can continue out. That must have been a draw off of the Albion here. But we do opt to keep that Cartesia in the hand there. Definitely going to be a interesting card. I mean, we can now go up into another copy of Granganol, which can send to the graveyard a copy of either Albion or maybe even a Rinrum, depending on what kind of set. I feel like we have to set a Branded Infusion or Branded Red line here, so we do opt to send up that Albion. And yeah, we're going to be going end phase. Albion will activate its effects, allowing us to set that copy of Branded in red here. We don't need to keep that Granganol on the field because we don't have the Granganol in the graveyard to banish. And we do opt to add it to the hand here. Activate the Branded red, target the Alabaz using itself. And do we just go up into a copy of Mirror Jade or the Lubellion here right away? We're going to open to that Mirror Jade there. And we now have just a few interactions. We're going to be seeing the Cartesia being able to add itself back to the hand. And we just pass turn on that, not even adding it back here. It's very interesting to me that we're choosing not to add it. Maybe want to use the Quem to summon it out here, potentially. But we're going to go up into the Domos, and normal summoning it, activating the effect, banishing the White Rabbit once again from the deck. And yeah, it makes sense to leave the Cartesia in the graveyard because we're going to be summon it back out with the Quem, and we can use the Mirror Jade at any point of time. We're going to now pay 300 to summon out the White Rabbit. We're going to chain the Granganol, summoning out the Quem, and we actually opt to summon out Quertus here. Yeah, that definitely feels like a misplay. I mean, I guess because Cartesia doesn't do too much for us anymore, but it still feels definitely kind of weird. We're going to now go for Thrust to set or to add here. We can add a copy of Talents. So it's going to kind of force out that Mirror Jade to activate its effects pretty early on, banishing the White Rabbit once again, because it won't be able to activate its effects, but still going to be pretty kind of impactful there. We're going to see a Talents to take, and we do chain the Mirror Jade, sending a Titaniclad there, which can summon the Quem during the end phase. And we're going to be banishing the White Rabbit because it already has activated its effects. Essentially forcing it to have another extender in the hand. I mean, we can go now up into the Hazard, I guess, if we want to, or the not SP, but whatever its name is, the Link one that brings back out one. So we do have access to a Link 3 here, but if we want to go up into a better combo, we need to have another extender here, which is either a Bestial or something else. So we're going to be seeing us link away for Splash Mage was the card I was looking to say, but we're going to link away up into the Haggard Lidos, which is going to activate the effect, banishing the copy of the Dormouse, making the Mirror Jade now have 0 attack, and then we're going to be seeing pay 300 for Dormouse, and we now can kind of continue our combo. Going up into the White Rabbit banish the cards, or set a trap, I should say, but we don't have a way to banish any more monsters, so it's not going to be good unless we have another extender here, which the kind of was mentioning. And we can't link up into the Link Decoder because we don't actually have another name. So we're going to go up into the White Rabbit. White Rabbit will set a trap from the deck, and we can potentially banish some cards. We're going to banish a Titaniclad, a Cartesia, and the Aluber there. And then we're going to see White Rabbit effect to set the trap. So we managed the Aluber to make sure that we don't get to bring back out one when we do get rid of that Mirror Jade. And then, of course, the Cartesia, because it adds back, and the Titaniclad, we don't summon come during the end phase. We all know kind of how this kind of goes. We do set a trap from the deck here, and then we do activate the Underground, which is going to be essentially giving us full combo of banishing the copy of the Chessy Cat, which can kind of extend. So we had the extender after all, and the game is kind of over for Branded after all here. We're going to be seeing them banish another Chessy Cat off the Chess Cat, and then they're going to draw 2 cards here. And yeah, at this point, you might as well just pack it up. You're not going to be winning this. We're going to see us go into an access code. We're going to try to go for the game here, and then we're going to be banishing the White Binder. White Binder will be able to bring itself back out. We pop with access code, and that's going to be enough on board for game, especially with the trap card to bring one back out. So we're going to go battle phase, attack with the White Rabbit or White Binder here, and then we're going to be able to banish. And then we're going to attack with the access code, and we see the game going to be 1-2-0 by Malice. It's unfortunately having those double hand traps, being the Imperm Ash for Branded is essentially going to be game over almost every single time. We did see some plays, which is pretty nice, through those double hand traps, but unfortunately just not enough from the Branded player there, and Malice is just a little bit too strong. But guys, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.